Every system built to measure your intelligence was designed to keep you manageable. The tests, the grades, the degrees, they were never measuring how sharp you are. They were measuring how obedient you are, how well you perform on command. The masses celebrate high scores and fluent arguments as proof of a superior mind. They are wrong, dead wrong, and that mistake is exactly what separates them from you. Think about the last time someone challenged you. Maybe it was a coworker dismissing your idea in front of the room. Maybe it was someone online reducing everything you stand for into a single mocking sentence. Maybe it was someone close to you, someone who knows exactly where the pressure points are pressing down hard, waiting. What did you do? You explained yourself. You defended your position. You felt that internal surge, that almost physical need to set the record straight, to make them understand, to prove that you are not what they just implied. That instinct, that desperate burning urge to respond, is not a sign of strength. It is a leash. And whoever pulled it just owned you completely. The moment you scrambled to justify yourself, you handed over your power with both hands. You became readable. You became predictable. You became exactly what they needed you to be, reactive. The noise you made in your defense told them everything about your limits, your fears, and your pressure points. You exposed the entire architecture of your mind, and you did it voluntarily. Here is the mechanism most people never see. When someone provokes you, when they insult, challenge, dismiss, or undermine you, they are not attacking you. They are running a diagnostic. They are probing for a live wire. The moment you react, you confirm the wire is live. You give them a map. Every emotional response you produce is data. It tells them what matters to you, what threatens you, and precisely how hard they need to push next time to get the same result. The masses operate entirely on this loop. They provoke, they receive a reaction, they calibrate, they provoke again with greater precision. They are not cruel geniuses. They are simply following the instinct of the weak seeking leverage wherever it can be extracted, and you have been handing it to them freely every single time you chose to react. Now understand what emotional detachment actually is, because it is not what the comfortable world tells you it is. It is not suppression. It is not numbness. It is not the hollow performance of someone pretending they do not care. Emotional detachment is a calculated, deliberate choice to withhold the one thing your opponent needs to gain power over you, your reaction. When you remove the reaction, you remove their reward. When you remove their reward, you collapse the entire system they built to manipulate you. You do not argue with them. You do not explain. You do not validate the provocation by treating it as something worthy of a response. You simply observe, cold, still, untouched. Imagine you are sitting in a meeting. Someone across the table, a person who has been studying your responses for months, who knows you push back hard when your competence is questioned, makes a comment designed to destabilize you. They frame it as a joke. They frame it as a question. They frame it as concern. But you have seen this before. You feel the pull. The old version of you would have tightened, leaned forward, started constructing the counter-argument before they even finished the sentence. Instead, you do nothing. You hold eye contact for exactly 1 second longer than is comfortable. You let the silence sit. You move on to the next agenda item, as if the provocation were a fly that landed on the table and flew away. Watch what happens in that room. Watch their face shift from confidence to uncertainty. The script they rehearsed required your participation. You refused to perform. Now, they are alone on that stage, exposed, without an opponent to validate them. The power does not transfer to them. It stays with you invisible, absolute, and completely unassailable. This is the architecture of the superior mind. It does not operate on stimulus and response like the masses. It operates on observation and strategy. While the crowd is busy broadcasting their emotions, their anger, their fear, their desperate need for validation. You are cataloging every signal they emit. You are learning their pressure points while they destroy any chance of ever learning yours. The asymmetry is total. They are open books printed in large type. You are a locked room with no door. The world has convinced you that a quick, articulate rebuttal is intelligence. It is not. A quick rebuttal means you were rattled enough to need one. A devastating silence means you were not. The man who argues loudly is fighting to establish his position. The man who never argues already occupies it. There is no debate when one party simply does not engage. There is no battle when one side refuses to show up. You cannot be defeated in a game you do not play. And this is where the depth of the concept becomes visceral. Silence is not passive. It is the most aggressive posture available to a disciplined mind. When you remain unmoved while everyone around you fractures, when you sit inside a storm of noise and produce nothing but stillness, you are not withdrawing. You are dominating. You are forcing every reactive, emotional, desperate mind in that environment to confront the mirror. Your composure becomes their accusation. Your silence becomes their loudest critic. You do not need to say a word. The contrast says everything. They are loud because they are afraid. You are quiet because you are not. The truly dangerous thing is this. Once you understand that your reactions are currency, you stop spending recklessly. You begin to see every provocation not as a threat, but as a transaction being proposed. Someone is attempting to purchase your emotional energy with a cheap insult, a loaded question, a deliberate slight. Your only obligation is to decide whether the transaction is worth entering. Almost universally, it is not. Let them make their offer. Let the silence decline it. Let them stand there holding their provocation like a bill no one agreed to pay. So here is your instruction. Not advice, instruction. The next time someone pushes, and they will push, because the world is full of people who need your reaction to feel powerful, you will do one thing. Nothing. You will not explain your position. You will not defend your character. You will not correct the record. You will feel the pull, because the pull will always be there. You will feel the tightness in your chest, the heat behind your eyes, the words forming in your throat, and you will let all of it pass through you like wind through an open corridor. Then you will move, not away, forward, as if nothing happened, because to you, nothing did. A provocation you do not receive is a weapon that never lands. You become, in that moment, precisely what they feared you were and could not confirm: unreachable. There is a harder truth underneath this one. Mastering your reactions is the first wall, but walls are only useful if you understand the full game being played outside them. The question is, do you know who is actually running it, and why they need you reactive in the first place?